Imagine a world where your intelligence, your data, and even your thoughts become the new gold. This is not the plot of a science fiction movie. It is a real question that we are beginning to ask in the 21st century. Could artificial intelligence itself evolve into a form of currency? It sounds provocative, even unbelievable. But when we look at how value has changed throughout history, and how AI is transforming the global economy, the idea suddenly becomes less far-fetched and more of an urgent conversation about our collective future. To understand this possibility, we first need to reflect on what currency really means. In its simplest form, currency is a medium of exchange, a tool that allows people to trade goods and services without bartering. Thousands of years ago, societies traded livestock, salt, shells, or precious metals. Later, gold and silver coins became the standard, before being replaced by paper money. In the last century, cash slowly gave way to digital entries in bank accounts, and now to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which exist entirely as code. Each step in this journey has redefined what humans consider valuable. What was once unimaginable, like paying for groceries with invisible numbers in a bank's computer, is now routine. And so the question arises: if our world increasingly runs on artificial intelligence, could AI itself become the next step in this evolution of value? Today, AI is already one of the most powerful drivers of economic growth. Algorithms decide what we see online, how we shop, how companies optimize logistics, and even how medical diagnoses are made. The productivity gains are immense. Entire industries are being reshaped. Consider the way financial markets use AI to predict movements and execute trades in milliseconds, or how creative industries are adopting AI to generate art, music, and literature. Every interaction we have with AI generates data, and this data fuels a cycle of improvement, innovation, and wealth creation. In fact, many argue that data is already the most valuable resource on the planet, surpassing oil. If AI is the engine that transforms raw data into actionable insights, then perhaps what AI produces knowledge. Decisions, solutions could itself be traded directly as a new kind of asset. This raises the possibility of AI-powered services functioning as currency substitutes. Imagine, instead of paying with dollars, you pay with the output of an AI trained to solve a problem, whether it's coding, design, or medical research. We are already seeing the beginnings of this in AI as a service models, where companies effectively rent access to algorithms in exchange for money. But what if the money part could be skipped? What if access to AI services themselves became the currency? Just as we once traded gold for goods, could we one day trade AI processing power or algorithmic solutions directly, without needing an intermediary form of money? Think about the mechanics of this. If an AI model generates valuable intellectual property, its output could be tokenized and exchanged on a marketplace. A company might trade AI-generated drug formulas for another company's AI-driven supply chain optimizations. In this sense, the labor of AI becomes the medium of exchange. Others envision AI-backed assets, tokens or coins whose value is directly tied to the capabilities of a specific AI system. The more accurate, powerful, or unique the AI, the more valuable the token. This would be similar to how gold once backed the value of paper currencies, except here, the reserve would not be a metal in a vault, but the processing capacity and intelligence of machines. Yet this idea is not without enormous challenges. First, how do we establish a universal valuation standard for AI-generated outputs? One AI system might produce 100 lines of code in seconds, while another might draft legal contracts or design buildings. How do we compare and price such different outputs in a consistent way? Second, regulation becomes a nightmare. Current financial frameworks were not designed for currencies backed by algorithms, let alone ones that evolve and learn on their own. Who would oversee this? Governments, international organizations, technology companies. And third, the ethical implications are staggering. If AI becomes currency, then control over AI effectively becomes control over money. This could concentrate power in the hands of a few corporations or states, exacerbating inequality. Moreover, it raises unsettling questions about human value. If machines become the medium of exchange, what happens to our role as workers, creators, and decision-makers? Despite these hurdles, the debate about AI's currency continues to grow because the future of money is not static. Consider two possible scenarios. In one scenario, AI simply enhances existing currencies. It makes banking faster, safer, and more intelligent. AI detects fraud instantly, predicts market movements more accurately, and personalizes financial advice for every individual. In this future, AI is a layer on top of the current system, making dollars, euros, or cryptocurrencies work better. In another scenario, AI itself becomes the currency. Imagine a stablecoin not backed by dollars or gold, but by guaranteed access to AI processing power or problem-solving capacity. Owning one AI coin could mean you are entitled to a fixed amount of computational intelligence, which you could spend, save, or trade. This is not just science fiction. Already, cloud computing credits and AI API tokens function in a similar way, though limited to specific ecosystems. Extending this to a global, standardized AI currency is an ambitious leap, but not entirely unthinkable. The question then becomes, are we ready for such a transformation? The truth is, humanity rarely waits until it is fully ready. History shows that new forms of money often emerge before we have the regulations or ethical frameworks in place. Paper money existed for centuries before central banks standardized its use. Cryptocurrencies exploded in popularity long before governments figured out how to tax or regulate them. AI may follow the same path, advancing as a form of exchange faster than society can keep up. So what should we do now? We must begin preparing for a world where value is not only measured in dollars or Bitcoin, but in the capabilities of intelligent systems. Policymakers need to think ahead about frameworks for AI-backed assets. Economists need to debate how AI-generated outputs can be fairly valued. Ethicists need to confront the implications of equating machine intelligence with currency. And individuals, people like you and me, need to ask ourselves how we want to define value in the future. Will we allow machines to redefine money for us? Or will we insist on a balance between human purpose and technological power? Ultimately, the idea of AI as a new form of currency forces us to confront deeper questions about what we truly value. Is money just a symbol, or is it a reflection of our collective trust? If we trust AI with our data, our decisions, and our lives, perhaps it is only a matter of time before we trust it with our wealth as well. The answer is not clear, and it may not be for decades. But one thing is certain: the lines between technology, finance, and human meaning are blurring faster than ever before. The debate about AI as currency is not just about economics. It is about the story of who we are and what we want our future to become. Thank you for joining me today. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Together, we can make finance a force for good.